All right, fellas, we're not gonna lose any more matches today, okay? Nah, no, I'm dead. Wow. Nah, I'm not losing this match, dude. Come on. If we just hold this one beacon, we might even still win. Yeah, because we need 12 more. He needs more than 24. He should gain influence at twice the rate that I do, because he has twice the beacons. Which should simply mean that it's not possible, so long as we hold one beacon. Although, no, wait a second. Guys. Do you see that, though? He's gaining influence at more than twice the rate that we are. That makes no sense. Why does the center beacon count for more? I've tested this. I want everyone to know. I have strictly tested this. Testing the amount, the influence per minute of every individual beacon on every map. I have done this before. My findings were not very interesting, so I didn't bother making a video about it. But every beacon gives the same amount of influence. There's no beacon that gives more influence than another. And yet, you clearly saw that even though he had 2 beacons and we had 1, he was gaining influence at more than twice the rate that we were. 6, 5. All right, I'll wait until it gets to 50, and then I'll step on it. All right. So I should cap it. It should take 5 seconds to cap. Yep. So 445. By the time the match is over, we'll see how much influence I have. $145, and that would be exactly 3 minutes. And then we'll see how much influence I have. It should be 90, because it's 30 influence per minute. Yeah, 90. We can test the double thing as well. Okay, so 435 in this case. We're not going to grab them immediately. What we're going to do is we're going to wait for 435 on the timer, and then we'll both step on it. It should take 5 seconds to cap the beacon, so it'll actually start at 430. 37, 36, 35, there we go. We should be getting, at this point, 1 influence every second. What's with that? Does it only work when someone else has the opposite beacon? Does it only work on one side of the map? I need more people in here. Who else is online? Just grab the beacons as quickly as possible. I actually don't think it matters, because when we have 2, it should be 60 per minute, which is exactly 1 per second. That's really, really easy to keep track of. Repeat the instructions again, just so it's in. I mean, I've had so many experiences with the custom matches, dude. I can't even take chances. Okay, so we have 10 by 426, which means you should have 20 by 416. Wait. 355, we should have 35. Why are we gaining influence so slowly? Look at the influence creep up. That's so strange. It's going really slow, and then what I'll bet you is going to happen is it's going to shoot up, and it's going to go really fast. $30, it's 88, which means it should be 98 when it's at 20. But it's not, it's 94. It's slower. Legitimately, guys, I legitimately think it's simply slower on one side of the map, and it's simply faster on the other side of the map. I'll grab 1. Beta switch teams, we're gonna do the same thing, except both of you guys grab the other 2. Also, don't shoot me. I know you guys were shooting each other. Don't shoot me. I don't that. So again, what should happen is it should be 10 if they're grabbing 2, because each beacon individually is 30 influence per minute. When it's 25, they have 13 or 14. We'll say 14. So now when it's 350, they should have 40. But they don't, they have less. They, in 15 seconds, they got 10 influence in 15 seconds. Yeah, it's taking 50% longer. But why was it going faster, though? Maybe it has to do with the beacon, the center beacon changing sides. So here's what we're gonna do. Both of you just grab the beacons, and I will grab the other beacon, and then I'm gonna leave it for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go grab the center. Don't worry, go ahead and grab it. I'll just wait. Grab it. 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 You weren't listening. Neither of you were listening. Let's see. 30 influence at about 346. Which means at 331, I think they'll have 50 or 40 influence. 331. Yeah. Yeah. So they're getting 10 influence every 15 seconds. Okay, 80. I'm just gonna grab it now because I don't want them to win by influence. Okay, so at 220, I had 25, and I should be gaining double. So I should have 45 by the time it's 2 minutes. But I don't. Is it maybe because this... Okay, maybe it's because the single beacon, it's not actually because the 2 combined is faster, it's because the single one is slower. Hold on. So, okay, 111 when it's got to 97. And it was 104 when it got to 98. That's like 7 seconds, which it shouldn't be. It should only take 2 seconds per influence point. It slows their... Well, yeah, the whole match's influence gets slowed. But at some point, one is slowed for more than the others is. I might have to try this on other maps. I feel like Skyship is the only map that I've ever experienced that on, though. Oh, hey, let's go 55. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I want to get back in the middle. I wanted to get back up there so I could kill him, but I had to wait for my open storyline. I think the game got tired of me winning all the time. They really cranked up the difficulty in terms of what enemies I fight. I did not deal damage. I'm not dealing damage to this guy. That's incredible. He's almost dead. Brother, he has no HP. Everybody's dead, bro. Why is everybody dead? Influence for the enemy team is 50% slower turn. That doesn't make any sense. Because let's assume that it's 50% slower for everything, for both teams. If we have two beacons, then what we saw earlier, which was the case, it would take 15 seconds to get 10 influence. But that would also mean that if we had one beacon, it would take 3 seconds to get 1 influence. So it should take at most 3 seconds to get 1 influence, but we were on 59 influence for 6 seconds, according to Timo. Because I counted it off in the custom match. It was at 96 or whatever influence for like 7 seconds. So it doesn't reduce the rate by the same amount. You're going to need to test on how many influence the beacon gives per second. I already did that. If you're testing individual beacons, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Is that before this entire thing happened, what I did was I went on Skyship, I stepped on one beacon, and I stayed there. And this is a thing I actually recorded. I went through every single map and I did this on every single beacon to see what the numbers were. And I was thinking of making it into a video, but what I found was really not interesting at all. It was very straightforward, so I didn't bother making it into a video. But what I found was 5 beacon maps, each beacon gives you 18 influence per minute, always. Every beacon. 3 beacon maps, each beacon gives you 30 influence per minute, always. Doesn't matter what beacon it is, doesn't matter what map it is. without fail. And this is what I tested, and I confirmed this even earlier. So the problem actually happens, the discrepancy happens when you have multiple beacons, not when you just have one. It's not a single beacon influence rate. It's the fact that multiple beacons, double the beacons doesn't equal double the influence. And in fact, what happens is that one team controlling multiple beacons actually slows down the influence rate of the other beacons, of the enemy beacons. Editor RuFFles here. So, after playing back the footage, taking some notes, looking over the said notes, I am now realizing that the amount of influence you get is based on how many beacons ahead of the other team you are. So, take for example a 3-beacon map. If both teams have 1 beacon, then both teams are gaining 10 influence per minute on that beacon, which is 1/3 the rate of normal, like I said earlier in the video. The base rate is 30 influence per minute. So if you have a beacon and they don't, you get 30. If you have a beacon and they have a beacon, you both get 10. Now, if you have 2 beacons and they only have 1, then you still only get 10 per minute from one of your beacons, but your other one's getting you 30, which results in an average 20 influence per minute. And so this is where that weird influence scaling comes from. Take this in a 5-beacon situation. If the enemy team doesn't have any beacons, then you're going to gain full influence rate, which is 18 influence per minute on a 5-beacon map. However, for however many beacons the enemy has, that is how many of your beacons are operating at 1/3 effectiveness. In this case, would be 6 influence per minute. So if you have 2 and the enemy has 3, both of yours are only getting 6 per minute. If you have 3 and the enemy has 2, 2 of yours are getting 6, but the other one's getting 18, which adds up to average 10 per minute. And if you have 4 and they only have 1, then 3 of your beacons are getting full influence rate of 18, and 1 of them is being hindered and is only getting 1/3 of that with 6, and that adds up to 15 per minute on average between all 4. So yeah, very strange. I don't know why influence scaling exists, much less why it would exist to benefit the people who are already in the lead. That's kind of ridiculous, but yeah. What's bothering me the most about this is that it's not proportional. If it was proportional, I actually wouldn't mind it, because then it would just be like, oh yeah, basically it just makes matches take longer, which is like, that's fine, because most of the time matches end before the timer runs out anyway, so it doesn't matter. I think that's fine. But the fact that it's not proportional is actually like super unfair. I think it's super unfair.